Why did Caudillos create corrupt networks? Imagine a time when new nations in Latin America were trying to find their footing after gaining independence. It was a chaotic period filled with uncertainty and power struggles. That's when strongman leaders called Caudillos stepped into the scene. These leaders often relied on personal loyalty and forced to stay in control. To do this, they built networks of supporters who depended on them for favors, jobs, and economic benefits. These networks became deeply rooted in corruption because resources meant for the public were diverted to private pockets. Without strong institutions to keep them in check, Caudillos could manipulate laws and political rules to stay in power. One reason these corrupt networks formed was because the new governments inherited weak and disorganized institutions. They lacked proper bureaucracies or courts that could hold leaders accountable. This made it easier for Caudillos to control resources and influence without much opposition. Political instability was another factor. Frequent conflicts and power struggles meant that violence and loyalty mattered more than laws or fairness. Caudillos used violence and intimidation to silence opponents, often paying for these actions through corrupt means. Economic control was also a big part of their power. Caudillos controlled land, trade routes, and government revenues. They manipulated economic policies and awarded contracts to friends and allies to increase their wealth. This created a cycle where their supporters gained more influence, making it harder for others to challenge them. Many Caudillos claimed to be champions of the common people or national unity, but in reality, they focused on their own survival and wealth. Corruption was a tool to reward loyal followers and keep their power secure, even if it hurt the country's development. The colonial social order played a role too. It created a hierarchy of elites and maintained inequality. After independence, these social structures persisted, and Caudillos often came from or allied with these old elites. This kept the system of concentrated power and normalized corruption as part of governance. In Latin American culture, the rise of Caudillos and their corrupt networks reflects the struggles of building new nations from colonial legacies. These networks provided order during chaotic times, but also slowed down democratic progress and economic growth. Their influence extended beyond the 1800s, shaping politics and social relations for many years. Understanding this history helps explain ongoing issues like political clientelism and corruption in Latin America today. It also shows why building transparent governments and strong institutions is so important to prevent individuals from abusing their power for personal gain.